I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. There's been a third dog attack in just 2 weeks in Flagler County. Tony Magoo reports.
A day after a pit bull mauled a 9-year-old girl in the P section of town, a 76-year-old woman was attacked in her backyard on Regent Lane. It was the third dog attack involving a pit bull in the past 2 weeks. On Monday afternoon, Gunner, who's a pit bull mix, had gotten loose as he had on previous occasions. The victim told Flagler County Sheriff's deputies that he had done this before without being aggressive. When he came into her yard, she attempted to kiss the dog on his head, and according to the sheriff's report, the dog bit her on the face, causing minor lacerations to the woman's nose. She fell backward and Gunner bit her again, this time on her arm, causing puncture wounds. Lily M. King of 8 Regent Lane, who owns Gunner, told deputies the dog had been secured back at the house. King was advised that Gunner should be placed on quarantine within her home and that Palm Coast Animal Control would be conducting a separate investigation. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News is brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport. Save time, money, and stress. The Daytona Beach International Airport, it's just plain easy. A long-time WNZF voice has gone silent.
You knew him as Ron Charles. His real name was Ron Charles Gitchier. Ron died yesterday. He was 56 years old and a Navy veteran of 23 years. Ron was the first person hired as the chief engineer 10 years ago to build Flagler County's first radio station, WNZF. He moved here 15 years ago, and as general manager and vice president of Flagler Broadcasting, David Ayers, said, came to work every day for the past 10 years. You heard Ron on the WNZF local morning news because he was the news director, a reporter, and the chief engineer. Ron oversaw 4 radio stations within the company and saw that those things that could go wrong went right. As a radio reporter, he had great relationships and liked everybody he met. Ron was also instrumental in keeping all 4 radio stations on the air during severe storms and hurricanes. We'll miss hearing his voice on the air, so one last time.
For WNZF Local News, I'm Ron Charles.
So who is Alvin Jackson?
Dr. Alvin Jackson is a pastor and now city manager. He said recently that he pastors in cities where he does not live, but governs where he lives. He said he sees Bunnell, Florida being mentioned in Forbes magazine and the Wall Street Journal. Jackson said putting Bunnell on the map is about its brand.
It's about branding Bunnell in the marketplace and some of the things that you brand: land availability, low cost of land, but also streamline permitting processes, that we have a friendly, easy to use, easy to navigate through our processes.
Jackson makes about $82,000 a year. He'll wait until he's eligible for benefits and take them then. He said he won't overburden the city with an exorbitant severance deal should he be terminated. He'll get 3 months' salary. Jackson said he also has a great city commission with which to work. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Flagler County residents were under the impression that plans for a roundabout at Cody's Corner were put on hold. But resident Pat Cody was out and about late last week when she says she saw a crew surveying. When she asked the men what they were doing, they said prepping for a roundabout. But FDOT says despite crews surveying, the roundabout proposal is on hold while they examine other options. The State Transportation Agency added surveying along State Road 11 for possible wetland mitigation. Flagler County commissioners are opposed to any roundabout but don't get a vote. FDOT wants to bring to Flagler County. The others are at US 1 and Matanzas Woods Parkway, and at US 1 and Old Dixie Highway. Construction on those begins next year. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley will recognize those who helped find a missing and endangered juvenile after an extensive 5-day search in September. John Arking has the details.
When Ricky Wheeler went missing, his mother called police as he had a medical condition that can be life-threatening when he has not had his medication. In response, the sheriff's office deployed deputies from multiple specialized units along with over 100 community volunteers. After finding a piece of Ricky's clothing, a canine unit was able to track and find the boy. Sheriff Staley says he'll be joined by Ricky and his parents in recognizing the men and women who worked tirelessly to find him.
What a remarkable outpouring of support from the community, and I will be recognizing them today at an awards ceremony to thank them for supporting the sheriff's office and the Wheeler family and helping us find him alive.
Over 100 volunteers, along with sheriff's office personnel, have been invited to the Ricky Wheeler Volunteer Appreciation Ceremony, which will take place from 9 a.m. till noon at the Flagler County Emergency Services Facility in Bunnell. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
Some of Flagler County's Sheriff's Office's finest workers were recognized at an award ceremony in Bunnell. They include Public Affairs Officer Shannon Martin Sabatini, PAL Coordinator Carrie Henderson, and Accounting Specialist Linda Tanuzzi. All three received plaques from Family Kia of St. Augustine and a $250 donation in their name to the Sheriff's Office Employee Assistance Trust Fund. Director Becky Quintieri was also recognized for 25 years of service, while Deputies Donnie Brock and Sandra Gray were lauded ahead of their retirement. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.